So imagine a rubber band, right? It's being pulled way too far in one direction.
Mm.
Right now, a massive chunk of crypto traders are basically sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah, just waiting.
Exactly. They're betting the market is going to keep dropping. But when everyone crowds onto one side of the trade like that, I mean, the market loves to snap back in the exact opposite direction. So welcome to today's deep dive. We're unpacking the Vantage Plus weekly crypto outlook that dropped today, Monday, April 20th, 2026.
It's a really interesting report.
It is. And the big headline is that positive sentiment is finally creeping back into the market. But the real question for you listening is, well, is this just a temporary bounce or are we seeing a fundamental shift?
Right, and to figure that out, we really have to look at the macro drivers, the broader currents. Right now, equity markets are climbing, the US dollar is actually losing strength, and, well, those global geopolitical tensions are easing up a bit.
Which changes the whole vibe.
Exactly. All of that creates this environment where investors feel just a little more comfortable taking on risk.
But the report highlights this really bizarre psychological quirk happening internally with active traders. Like, sideline speculators aren't actually cashing out completely.
No, they're not.
They're just shifting where they park their money. The trading volume for Bitcoin right now is completely dwarfing the rest of the altcoin sector. And the report calls this risk reduction.
Yeah, risk reduction.
Wait, calling crypto a flight to quality sounds like a total oxymoron to anyone outside of Web3. Are you saying traders view Bitcoin the way traditional investors view, like, gold?
Well, yeah, it's all about relative risk. I mean, in the crypto ecosystem, when speculators get nervous, they don't necessarily flee to traditional fiat currencies.
Right, they stay in the ecosystem.
Exactly. They flee to the established heavyweight. So demand for Bitcoin rises because, well, it has the most liquidity and the most institutional backing.
While the highly speculative smaller altcoins suddenly look, way too dangerous to hold. So if Bitcoin is acting as this safe haven and absorbing all this sideline cash, how is that actually playing out mechanically on the charts?
Oh, we are seeing a real story of momentum right now. Fueled by that broader equity market strength we just mentioned, Bitcoin broke right through a major ceiling above $74,000 last week.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's currently sitting around $75,836. So that means the runway above it is relatively clear.
But what if the macro winds die down?
Then the critical floor to watch is $67,000. That's the price where buyers have historically felt comfortable, stepping back in.
Okay, so if Bitcoin is carving out this clear runway, are the other major networks kind of riding its coattails? Like, what about Ethereum?
Ethereum is definitely following suit. It's currently trading around $2,338.
And it had that big bounce, right?
Yeah, it successfully bounced off a crucial $2,000 floor. Buyers really rushed in to catch that dip, and now it's pushing toward its 50-day moving average, which is sitting up at $3,085.
Okay, so think of that 50-day moving average, like the market's medium-term memory. If Ethereum breaks above what people have been paying for it over the last couple of months, that signals a real tangible shift in confidence.
Precisely. But, it isn't clear sailing just yet.
There's a resistance.
Yeah, Ethereum has a pretty heavy ceiling around $2,550. That's where sellers tend to get nervous and, well, take profits. Breaking through that is going to be heavily dependent on favorable geopolitical news.
Got it. So the heavyweights are showing strength. But what happens further down the risk ladder? You mentioned earlier that this flight to quality kind of leaves smaller tokens out in the cold. Are things like Ripple and Solana walking a tightrope right now?
They absolutely are. I mean, let's look at Ripple, or XRP. It's trading at 1.4336 cents after completely failing to break a $1.60 ceiling.
Ouch.
Yeah, and if buyers lose interest here and XRP breaks below its current $1.30 floor, the downside really opens up.
Right. The report notes that a drop there could push the price all the way down to parity, like a flat $1. Which is a massive psychological blow for any token.
It really is.
And Solana is in a pretty similar danger zone, isn't it? It's sitting at $86.02 after failing to break that recent $90 high.
Solana is definitely teetering. If we see a drop below $78, well, that is going to unleash a wave of fresh selling momentum.
So what does it need to do to turn that around?
Fundamentally, it has to punch through the $100 zone just to shift trader psychology. Only then can it really target the next ceiling at $106.
So tying this all together for you, the crypto market is basically bifurcated right now. You've got Bitcoin and Ethereum acting as these macro-driven safe havens, drawing in all the capital.
Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile, Altcoins like XRP and Solana are really struggling to catch any tailwind, and they're teetering on critical support floors.
It perfectly illustrates how market sentiment, it isn't a monolith. Even within a single asset class, traders are constantly calculating relative safety.
Which leaves you with a fascinating final thought to chew on.
Oh, definitely.
If Bitcoin's current surge to $75,000 is actually just a risk reduction play, basically the result of everyone huddling in the safest corner of a volatile space, well, what happens to the broader crypto ecosystem when those traders finally decide to abandon the sidelines and embrace full speculative risk again? Keep your eyes on the horizon.